What's good with the YouTube Daisy? The Mexican clown that killed cartel members and filmed it. This is gonna be crazy. Let's get right into this video.
¿Agua? ¿Eh? Dime recio. Que me digas con la boca.
That was an insane intro.
Do you have an irrational fear of clowns? If not, you might develop one by the end of this video. For a long time now, popular culture has depicted clowns as creepy or even evil, from the Stephen King's It to the Joker. These infamous characters might explain the irrational fear of clowns, at least a little bit. But what if I told you such clowns exist in real life? The Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, has been terrorizing Mexico for over a decade now, and they are by far more brutal than their enemies, the Sinaloa Cartel, and even Pablo Escobar's Blood Empire. Now they have an army of evil clowns who torture rival cartel members to death and film their horrific deeds. It's hard to imagine something like this is real and is happening right now. This is the full story of Fabian Morales and his sick clown army. Before we go on, I must warn you, the following video contains very graphic details.
I'm now understanding.
Today's story begins with a nasty man called
Nemesio
Señor Carvantes, aka El Mencho. He was born in July 1966 and grew up in a family of poor avocado farmers. By the 1980s, he illegally immigrated to the United States, but he committed so many petty crimes there that he was soon deported. Already desensitized to violence and willing to do anything for quick cash, he joined the Milenio Cartel. But the Milenio Cartel was slowly decimated and broken into tiny factions. So in 2009, El Mencho started his own cartel. Initially, it was called Los Torcidos, or the Twisted Ones. Considering what they ended up doing, perhaps this name was more fitting than Jalisco New Generation Cartel.
CJNG is the single criminal organization most responsible for these deaths on both sides of the border.
The Jalisco New Generation Cartel took the fight to the next level, shooting down a military helicopter with a rocket-propelled grenade.
Tonight,
What the fuck? Yo, what you mean?
Responsible for these deaths on both sides of the border.
The Jalisco New Generation Cartel took the fight to the next level, shooting down a military helicopter with a rocket-propelled grenade.
I knew they was crazy, but I ain't know they was that crazy. Yo, they really playing GTA. Yo!
Tonight, the DEA is offering $10 million for information leading to the arrest of the Mexican drug kingpin known as El Mencho.
El Mencho was inspired by Los Zetas cartel and its militarized structure. He, however, took it to the next level, arming thousands of violent men with huge rifles, army tanks, and grenades.
And in July, footage emerged of that CJNG convoy. These gunmen call themselves the Elite Group and pledge allegiance to El Mencho. They're armed with assault rifles with grenade launchers attached to the barrel.
This is how the cartel look? Bro, you would think this is the army, bro. Bro.
Heavy machine guns, and also this gun. This is a 50 caliber sniper rifle.
Yeah, nah, GG's.
It's a powerful weapon that the CJNG loves to show off.
The CJNG rules by fear, kidnapping, torture, and killing anyone who stands in their way. Sometimes it's rival cartels, and other times it's police officers, and even civilians.
How did
they have
get
no
so
regard
big?
for human life. All they care about is making money and spreading the message that they are now in charge. But El Mencho doesn't just do this with military weapons and an organized structure. He also recruits the absolute worst people in Mexico. One of them is Fabian Morales, aka El Payaso. El Payaso means the clown in Spanish. Creepily enough, Fabian Morales did work as a clown at the circus when he was younger. Then, he traded his clown suit for guns, machetes, and knives, but he kept the mask. Fabian Morales used to work for Los Metros Cartel, which was a smaller faction of the Gulf Cartel, operating from Reynosa at the border with Texas.
Yo, how many
Morales
cartels
quickly
is
climbed
there?
Los Metros' ranks and brought a new level of psychopathic violence to the gang. He and his own henchmen, all wearing the same horrible clown mask. But the terrifying gang didn't earn a name just for their masks. they had incredibly gruesome methods of dealing with the rival cartel members.
In this place, Mencho and his people recruited them when they saw the way they executed their rivals. They put them in gasoline drums.
El Mencho saw Morales and his gang burning and flaying his victims alive.
Where is this at?
For him,
Mexico?
this was proof that Morales would make a great captain. As I said, El Mencho recruits the very worst people around.
I'm never going to Mexico.
CJNG quickly grew into the second biggest cartel in Mexico, second only to El Chapo and El Mayo's notorious Sinaloa cartel. This is particularly interesting as El Mencho's beginnings lie with avocados.
The economical power behind the Cartel Jalisco, they literally started with avocados, so they were farmers. They literally started moving from avocados to chemical precursors to make products like methamphetamine. It's like, okay, so what the U.S. market like? They like their avocados from Mexico and their meth from Mexico.
Needless to say, it's impossible to rule a cartel this big single-handedly. So El Mencho set out to recruit smaller cartel bosses.
I'm not gonna lie, the cartel might be bigger than the army, bro. This shit might be bigger than the army, bro. What's good, ISO? What's going on, man?
Kind of a manager to various areas that the CJNG spread out to. Slowly but surely, the CJNG recruited the whole Los Metos cartel and engulfed them into their gang. Fabian Morales became El Mencho's trusted man, so trusted that El Mencho encouraged him and his henchmen to keep wearing the terrifying masks. After all, CJNG's end goal is to spread as much pain as possible. Morales became one of the commanders of the criminal structure of Miguel Fernandez, LM2, lieutenant of one of the CJNG's regions, with his most evil side encouraged by El Mencho. It wasn't long before Morales became one of Mexico's worst real-life monsters. By the 2010s, there was another problem.
No, it's not
Cartel
TOS
members
game.
could easily film videos of their most brutal acts and upload them to the internet. This spread a clear message: don't mess with us. It was a message to rival cartels as well as anyone else watching. But I can't stress this enough. Do not watch these kinds of videos. They only damage your mental health. There's nothing good that comes out of watching something like this. Warning, very graphic details ahead.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, nigga, hold on. Let me edit this part out the video. Cause hold on, brother. What you mean, gang? Oh my God, hold on, bro. Let me just make sure this nigga Nasty really reacted to this shit. Cause I be making sure, bro. I don't just be watching videos like. I be making sure people cause now they got me fucked up.
Oh, bro, Jay, bro, can y'all stop, bro? Dang, let me react, bro.
And the victim.
Even that nigga was scared. Yeah, it might be GG's though. Let's continue with the video.
Ahead the next couple minutes if you don't want to hear the contents of the cartel video. It's unclear whether the infamous Quiero Agua video was done by Fabian Morales under his orders or just by his vile henchmen. In the video, the CJNG clowns have kidnapped a rival cartel member, most likely a former member of La Familia. The victim has never been identified, as the video begins with a flipped face. The 30-second video shows a man inches away from death after the evil clowns had already removed all skin from his face and other body parts. But this is not the only gruesome, blood-chilling part of the video. Something that shows the true nature of Morales and his gang. And for what it's worth, the CJNG is the way the men taunt their victim, mocking him and laughing at his pain. At one point, the men kept asking him if he wants water, but imagine having to talk without a face.
¿Agua? Dime el resto. Que me digas con la boca.
The man wheezes in pain. It's pretty clear he just wants to die, but the clowns keep taunting him, keeping him alive for as long as possible. His voice is raspy and weak, but this only amuses the clowns. Seeing a scene like this in a horror movie could be enough to give you sleepless nights and maybe even anxiety attacks. So it's hard to comprehend how a bunch of people could do this to another human being, being inches away from it, and laugh at it. Just how many things have to go wrong for someone to end up like this?
Shit worse than
to think
Insidious,
Fabian Morales and his henchmen were once babies. Can you imagine the violence they witnessed, or perhaps even suffered, before they became these psychopathic monsters? No animal would do this. Animals kill for food or to survive, but the CJNG cartel and its horrifying soldiers kill for pleasure. They These cartels keep as a means to an end, to secure power, territory, and trafficking routes. The CJNG made violence a means to an end. And in the age where we can share and watch pretty much anything online, this is becoming even more dangerous. Violence spreads easily, and being exposed to it early on can lead to a dark and violent mind. Once again, please don't go looking for this video or other videos posted by CJNG.
Yeah, not you. This shit
now,
crazy
it's probably
though.
time to ask, what are the police
I can't
doing
even
about
react,
this?
gang.
These
I'm
evil
really
clowns drive their
shell
cars and
shocked.
expose their guns in broad daylight, and if they blatantly post videos of torture and death, how are they not in prison already? Well, you'll be pleased to know Fabian Morales has finally been arrested. In October 2019, the CJNG orchestrated
Nigga, we made it.
Lock all these, lock them all up, man. Wow, this is insane, brother. This is insane. I don't know how they're still roaming.
huge ambush on the police, taking the lives of 13 officers. This wasn't the first time the CJNG was targeting police officers and taking more than a dozen lives in one day. But this time,
imagine,
bro, ambush.
Imagine being a cop and you gotta fight against these niggas. I ain't gonna lie, yo, these cops better be getting paid top-notch mananas. Cause you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. I'm not enforcing no laws. I'm starting to understand how they got so much power, bro. It's cause, like, as a cop, bro, you probably would rather be friends than be enemies with these niggas. Cause, bro, this is insane.
As a perfect context to launch their own operation. So in January 2020, the Michoacan police launched a huge sting operation on the CJNG. At least, they got their hands on El Payaso and a few of his henchmen. Interestingly enough, this was the same sting operation that ended the life of La Catrina.
Tranquila, mija, ya viene el helicóptero por ti. Ya viene el helicóptero. Tranquila, hija, tranquila. Vas a estar bien. Trata de aguantar,
What the fuck?
La Catrina had joined CJNG back in 2017 when she was just 19, but she had such an extreme thirst for blood that she was soon propelled to hit squad commander. El Mencho encouraged her drive to drink and even supported her regular hits on police officers. That's right, La Catrina had given the order of the October ambush. The Michoacan police even had a recording of her voice ordering the hit. There was no way.
She's a hitman?
La Catrina was hit in the jugular. She succumbed to her wounds in the helicopter on the way to the hospital. But the same couldn't be said about Fabian Morales and his fellow
Nah, let
They
me
were
chill.
arrested and taken to prison. As news of his arrest made headlines throughout Mexico, it became clear that El Payaso had another brother in the CJNG.
You're
wildin'.
is the brother of a person nicknamed El Jaguar.
You're
Former
wildin'.
military man and former member of the CJNG Delta Group.
It turns out that El Jaguar was a member of the CJNG before El Payaso joined. He was still working as a regular circus clown when his brother was killing him.
Like, these niggas, these niggas would literally be a circus clown for little kids, having fun, you feel me, like doing their own little thing, and they go home and just play GTA online, gang, like IRL. It's kind of like I'm not understanding the concept of the nigganistics, cause yo, this is wow.
Cash. Perhaps it was El Jaguar that convinced El Payaso to join the cartel. Or perhaps they grew up in an already violent world where
Why
death
is your
is
Discord not
normalized
working,
and
brother?
the general mentality is
What you mean?
killed. Now, this isn't an excuse or even an explanation for what they ended up doing. If you saw this in a movie, you'd say it's far-fetched. But to think that this happens in real life is truly worrying. And here's another sad twist. Now Fabian Morales is in prison. It's unlikely he will ever get parole or even escape for that matter. He doesn't have the money or the authority of El Chapo. And even El Chapo found the end of his freedom at the ADX Florence in the United States. But El Payaso legacy is a dark one, and there are many people that look up to him. Some of his evil clowns are still out there, inflicting the kind of pain and suffering that he had taught them. And today, the CJNG is at the top of its game.
The DEA says his cartel, called Cartel Jalisco, or CJNG, is responsible for roughly a third of the drugs entering this country by land and by sea.
They're on the brink of being named a terrorist organization. The war between the Sinaloa cartel and the CJNG and the authorities that want them behind bars have been terrorizing Mexico for more than a decade. The war on drugs is at its very worst, and senseless violence seems far away from an end. In fact, reputable newspapers have argued that the cartels seem to control the government at the moment.
They create this chaos to go and sit with the local politicians and say, like, okay, do you want more, or shall we negotiate this?
Still, it's a small victory.
Yo, it's kind of crazy because the control they have over, like, everything, the government, the police, like, they got inside men in every angle, bro. And, like, those inside men are cooked. They can't even do nothing because, like, they family's life on the line. Like, this is really probably the craziest problem in the world right now.
That
also,
Fabian
the war's
Morales
going on, but this
means that the authorities haven't given up. Perhaps in time,
the
enough
authorities are
kingpins and
being, like,
psychopathic
50-50
commanders will be
right now,
arrested
bro.
or dead. And as the violence decreases, young people will be less tempted to join the ranks of the Mexican cartels.
Nah, that vid's crazy, mud. WVid.